Welcome, each and every one of you, whether you are on Pilled, BoostTube, Rumble. It's good to have you aboard. Thanks to everybody. Jack Attack starting things off with the cookie. Zach from Tennessee as well. 2026 is going to be a glorious year, folks. Victory on the horizon. Man, today's episode 27. So much focus on Minneapolis. Is this a coincidence or is it purposeful? Oh no, my camera. Hold on. All right, we're back. That might happen because I accidentally left the camera on, but periodically I'll fix it. But it's good to have you aboard. I'm glad you are here. Again, coincidence or purposeful? What's going on in Minneapolis? It's not just the city of Minneapolis. It is the state of Minnesota, and we're going to be going into another article that I covered yesterday about President Trump. This may be taking place in California. Time to up the ante for sure. Very interesting stuff. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button, share the stream, hit the notification bell, yada, yada, yada. I would appreciate it. No Sheeple 2751. Good to see you over there on YouTube. Good to see you back, my friends. Yes, Curious Cat, California is next. And we talked about that yesterday. So we'll get into it, guys. Please do that. You can hit the Cash App, money sign, stream donation 17. And I thank you all for being here today. If the camera continues to go out, a thought and not a logical thought process. Which, would you want any of that to be around you? Whether it's your family, your friends, your relatives, whatever it may be. Would you want someone around you to be emotionally unstable and then they do something like this? Well, we're going to be talking about it. We're going to be getting into... would you want someone around you to be emotionally unstable and then they... Disconnected, reconnected. All right, we should be back. Are we back, folks? Are we 5x5? Nathan Davis says they are playing hijinks with your feet, Thomas. I hope not. But we should be back. That was weird. I'm looking at the internet. We should be good to go. I pay hijinks with your feet, That's Thomas. Crazy. I hope not. I pay enough for it. All right, let's go ahead and get into the news before the stream drops. 5x5. Thank you, Senor Polo. Appreciate that. Trusty Turnip, thank you for the 5x5 as well. All right. Help out with the gold pills, Zach, and also our dear friend Jack Attack is doing the exact same thing. Please help out. Let's get to 5,000 gold pills, and let's get on with the news, shall we? Bada boom, bada bing. As we can see, boom. All right, federal agents kill a woman during a Minneapolis immigration crackdown. Again, so much focus on Minneapolis. Is this coincidence or purposeful? There is so much corruption, and it's just not on the city of Minneapolis, but the entire state of Minnesota. So as we can see here, 37-year-old Minneapolis woman Wednesday, today, amid a massive enforcement surge in Minnesota City, federal officials said that the woman tried to, and quote, run over agents in an attempt to kill them. But local officials and witnesses at the scene said the woman was no threat to the agents and the shooting was unjustified. Unbelievable. Unbelievable that they can just spin this into more chaos and more of a dividing the population. This is what they do best. So, again, the shooting happened after the department deployed more than 2,000 immigration and custom enforcement officers to the city in, then, quote, the largest Department of Homeland Security operation ever. Again, Nick Shirley exposing all this. Is he a Fed? I don't know. I'm sure people have been talking about that. I have no idea. But, again, a witness spoke to local CBS affiliate WCCO, which she heard 2 gunshots and then a car crash. I see a red truck, airbag inflated with blood all over it, and then a woman on the side of the road, and then an ambulance trying to come through, she said. Another witness told the station that she saw 2 apparent ICE agents in fatigues trying to enter the woman's car, a red SUV, with one pulling on one door handle. The driver backed up a few feet and tried to pull forward, but neither ICE agents could still try to open the door. They were trying, but they couldn't. The witness said that the agents on the driver's side fired 2 to 3 shots through the window, and the car lurched forward 30 to 40 feet and crashed into a parked car. I don't care if this is ICE. I don't care if this is a sheriff. I don't care if this is the FBI. I don't care if this is a local police department. If you've seen anything like this, and people try and run over a police officer, run over a human being, that is attempted murder. You should be shot. You should be shot and killed. What world are we living in where we're supposed to be lenient about this? Is anyone on par with this of what the woman did? Absolutely not. So we have to understand these things, that they're up in the ante. These people are completely aggravated. I would be even not surprised at all if this woman wasn't illegal. And this is what they do. Or they're batshit crazy and they're thinking, well, listen, I'm going to be thinking emotionally and not logically, and I'm going to run over an ICE agent. Could you even imagine doing something like that? Oh, traffic's bad. I'm going to run somebody over. It doesn't even go into your mind. Road rage or not, I don't even care. This wasn't road rage. This was just seeing an operation taking place and then losing control of your emotional side of your brain. That's all that this is. These people are psychotic. They're dangerous. It's not good. We got to go into a ton of videos. So, yeah, we do have audio. Isn't your internet connection? It could be something to do with YouTube, Cloudflare. No, it's not. It was probably just a internet thing. We're good, though, Nathan. So, yes, continuing on. It is bullshit, Trusty Turnip. I see you right there for sure. Let's go ahead. We've got to get into more of this. And now they're going into, well, there's angles and issues. And, well, this looks suspicious. And we can't trust ICE. And this is inhumane. And all these sorts of things. Okay, sure. If you want to, whatever. If you want to go against that argument, absolutely. We could do that. By the way, I want to bring back the call-in show, but I just don't know how many people would call in. We're on Rumble. Good to see you, Rumble. We're on YouTube. We are on Pilled as well. If I were to bring back the call-in show during this episode, just randomly throw the number up right above me, would you even call in? Can we see W's or no's in the chat? W's or N's in the chat? Would you call in and discuss this operation? Would you call in and discuss your opinion on where you stand with all of this? That a woman, 37 years old, tries to run over an ICE agent. I don't care if they're ICE. I don't care if they're a police officer. I don't care if they're a sheriff's department. You or a civilian. You cannot run over people. This is when you watch these police videos, which I watch these body cam videos all the time. Probably not healthy for my mental state, but I still like to watch them. It's very interesting. What else are you going to watch? The Masked Puppeteer or whatever that show is on NBC. What are you going to watch? Monday Night Football, Thursday football. What are you talking about? Come on. Senior Polo, F around and find out. Wednesday facts. That's exactly what it is. I live in Minneapolis, says Penny Berg, 2204. I live in Minneapolis, and this is crazy. Let ICE do their job. Yes, ma'am, you are so correct. You were so correct. So let's go ahead, and we got to get into these videos. Let's hit 5,000 gold pills on Pilled. But let me know on Rumble, Pilled, and YouTube. You want the call-in show back? Do you want to call in? We can do that. We can add it to the repertoire if we shall. Let's go. Let's do it.
The largest immigration operation ever happening right now in the state of Minnesota. We know some 2,000 agents are here. They've been here over the last couple of days. And this is what a lot of local authorities had feared the worst. They did not want this to happen, talked about it often, that this was the fear that something badly was going to happen after this. We do not know the severity of the injuries here. We do not know much more other than a shooting has occurred involving ICE in the city of Minneapolis.
Right. And the governor on X saying, under his Twitter account or X account, my public safety team is working to gather information on an ICE-related shooting this morning. We will share information as we learn more. In the meantime, I ask folks to remain calm.
We've also heard from several different entities telling people to please stay away from this area. Obviously, it's an active situation. It's an active police investigation. And then there are people gathering. This does look like it's a residential neighborhood. You can see homes there. We are watching this real time here. Obviously, as agents are walking through, you can see a lot of people shouting things at the officers, at the agents. As Corin had mentioned, people have their phones out. There's been live streams of this, so a lot of interest into what exactly happened here, what exactly is going to happen going forward. Corin, obviously.
Well, I mean, this is breeding chaos, is it not? This is, and you're right, Gold Delec. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Facts.
He has been on the scene talking to witnesses as quickly as we can. One person told him it was an observer, and we've heard about these observers who have been there watching ICE activity. And going forward, Corin obviously has been on the scene talking to witnesses as quickly as we can. One person told him it was an observer, and we've heard about these observers who have.
Who's paid and who's not paid to say these things? I'm not talking about Fox News right now. I'm just talking about, well, we had a reporter go down on the grounds to see what was happening. I was just an observer. Okay, sure. Do I honestly believe any of that? Everyone surrounding 2,000 agents. This isn't 2,000. You're not looking at 2,000 agents right here within this vicinity. You're looking at civilians as well. I was an observer. That's what I was observing. Well, we're all observing. I mean, that's what the reality of our consciousness is. I was just observing. Okay. Were you paid to observe? Were you paid to be there on the scene? Wink, wink.
Been there watching ICE activity, recording it, documenting it.
Get the out of our neighborhood.
Yeah, get the F out of my neighborhood. Here we go. Of course it's a Honda Pilot.
No! No! Shame! Oh my God! What the What the You just what the you do?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard today's edition Human Events Daily here on Real America's Voice. Today is January 7th, 2026.
No!
We'll watch this one more time. Right? She's blocking an investigation. How she got to this point, we'll get to that. But there's also an after effect of what happens during this, okay? Again, you're blocking what's taking place. Were the kids in the vehicle? No. But we'll watch it one more time. There may be kids. No, the back window was rolled down. Maybe she was talking. I don't know if they were kids. Okay. Get out of the car.
No!
Nope.
No! Shame! Oh my God!
This gentleman right here was the one that was almost hit by a car. This guy right here. So again, one more time. Just to show you.
No!
There's a gentleman right here.
Shame! Oh my God! What the f? What the f? You just what the f did you do?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard today's edition Human Events Daily here on Real America's Voice. Today is
As we can see here, I'll bring it back up onto the chat. As you can see, Nathan Davis 1568 says there was more to it than that. The video of what happened 5 minutes before the clip will be out shortly. I am still waiting on that. I have a ton of clips just to let you guys know. So just letting you know what has taken place. Hold on. Let me look at this right now. Okay, that's not it. All right, let's continue on with this.
Massive deployment of agents that are up there, massive deployment of agents that are on the ground conducting operations, one of the largest deployments. And in this video, which we've now obtained from on the ground in Minneapolis, we can see a woman who is behind the wheel of an SUV is engaged by ICE officers, ICE agents, and rather than step out of the vehicle when they ask her to, she hits the gas pedal and attempts to floor into one of the officers who's standing directly in front of her.
Facts.
And we've got an actual, if you guys could freeze or pause the video at that point, that you can see there is an officer standing right in front of her, as she hits the gas pedal. Makes no attempt to, there it is. We put this up on Twitter as well. So guys, make that full screen real quick. We're just directing on the fly here a little bit because this is key. Look at the way her wheel is turned in that image. You can see the wheel turned directly towards the officer. Look at the wheel, all right? You can see that it's at a different angle. That means she is turned directly towards the officer at that point. You see the way the wheel is turned. Know that the officer, and you can see his head right there. So she's pointing directly at him. She then, now she's on the brakes in this photo, but we know in a minute directly, you can see the lights are flashed up because she's on the brake. The very next instant, she hits the gas pedal and we've got the video there. So we've got it all on video. He then makes the move to defend himself. And people have asked me before, what are the rules of engagement for ICE officers, for any officers in these situations? And the rules of engagement are the rules of engagement. These are not, okay? These are not anything that supersedes your right to self-defense. It does not supersede your right to self-defense. No. You always have the right to defend yourselves when conducting operations, and that's exactly what this officer did here. He acted upon training. You can see it on the video. She backs up. She has the wheels turned. She then floors into him, right into him, and he has to get out of the way. It looks like she may have actually hit his leg, and this is an attempted murder. You cannot blockade or impede operations. And if you see earlier on in this video, it looks like that. Why is her car even blocking them in the first place on the street? She's parked in the middle of the road, perpendicular to the roadway, which is not a way that you're supposed to be parked at all. So there's no question when when they walk up and they ask her to get out of the way, you can see she's blocking traffic. She's actually blocking traffic with her SUV. You can see in the first part of the video right there, there are cars trying to get her out of the way. There are people that she's blocked. So you can't block ICE operations, and then you can't run over ICE officers. These are illegal actions. And then, if you attempt to murder a member of law enforcement, they have the right to defend themselves. This is the real world. And Jacob Frey, the mayor up there, is committing sedition when he says that ICE should get out of Minneapolis. No, I'm sorry, Jacob Frey. Minneapolis.
We'll get into that as well. Senior Polo says with the can, if the local police assisted ICE, this would not have happened. I don't know. I mean, that's speculation for sure. Nathan Davis says she was already ramming vehicles before that, acting like an unfringed lunatic with those MK Ultra eyes. Oh, interesting. They acted to stop this before she hurt anyone else. Yeah, so the mainstream media is going to run. Her license plate is from Missouri. Wow. Shine your light detailing. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. That's very interesting. Luis Peak. I noticed the limp also. Yeah, it looks like he got ran over his foot, or she clipped him, one of the two. Not good. Not good at all. Is it attempted murder? 100%. Imagine if you did that. You're fleeing the scene. You're blocking traffic. You're doing everything to impede an ICE operation, and everything is supposed to go according to plan, and everything's supposed to be hunky-dory. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's crazy. Yeah, Freitas is a garbage mayor. We'll get to that as well. We'll see more of this right now. Another angle.
What the fuck? Dude, what the fuck? Dude, you did a murder for what?
For what? She ran over an officer. For what? This is the mindset, the emotional mindset. This is what they do. And I'm just going to keep going through video and video and video for sure. If you guys have links, you can drop them into YouTube or Pilled or on Rumble. Again, dude, what the frick? What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm standing my ground, and I'm trying not to get killed because I have a family to go home to. I have 2 children, whatever it may be. Why is this person parked in the middle of the road like this? You're impending an investigation and an operation, and you're standing in the line of law enforcement. And this is what happens when you do not comply. It's as simple as that. That is all there is to it. There's nothing else to it but that. If you were being compliant, you would unlock the door and be like, listen, I'm in the way. I understand that. Please have nothing to do. But no, I have to act emotionally. I have to act erratic. I have to do these things because, God, I hate the Trump presidency. I hate ICE, and they're stealing people, and this car is not even from here. It's from Missouri. Notice they don't even care about her. They just care about acting Antifa-style dramatic in the moment. Nathan Davis, facts on that. Hogleg, good to see you. Thank you for the cookie. Goldilect with the cookie. Is it Big Pharma meds or TDS? Trump derangement syndrome? I think it's just an emotional imbalance of just being crazy. Probably a mixture of both, if I were to guess. Who knows? And thank you for saying Big Pharma meds, that we can discuss that. Could be. I doubt that. I think it's just an erratic, psychopathic woman who doesn't know what in the hell she's doing. And I mean, anyone in this chat, wouldn't you just be like, listen, I messed up. I'm getting out of the car. I did not mean to impede on this, anything like that. And by the way, is anything this emotional to you? I understand if something was happening to your child. I understand if something was happening to your family, but you would be rational about this, correct? Like, I think that this is just insanity. It's all that it is. So what does the aftermath take place? What is the aftermath of all of this? And I think that we're all rational people, but when it comes to these certain situations, people just snap. You know? And again, more focus on Minneapolis. There's a problem. You think this is going to end there? I think it's going to take place in other states as well. I think that we can all just be on the same page about this. That it's going to take place in California. It's going to take place in New York. It's going to take place in even places like Maine. I have a video on this. So again, after the incident, this is the aftermath of the ICE agents' meltdown when it comes to people that are not quite right. This is their aftermath meltdown. By the way, if you're enjoying the show, you know what to do. Help out with gold pills. You can hit up the Cash App. You can just hit the QR code with your phone. Send 2, 5, 10, 100, whatever you want to keep the show afloat. I've been pretty, not dropping a lot of ads. I haven't dropped any ads at the beginning of the year. I do have ads, but I'm just trying to give you guys like a full show without ads. And then I'm just kind of wait till about the middle of the month. Then I'll start dropping ads so there's no interruption. So you get a more full of a show. We love our advertisers and sponsors, but I'm just letting you guys know that's why you haven't seen ads, because I'm kind of, just giving back to you guys. But again, please help out the channel. We would really appreciate it. People like that are the ones that will never wake up, Schaffer says. I agree. Schaffer, I totally agree with you. Let's go ahead and get into this, the aftermath.
Kill someone else! Don't get killed for this. Don't.
Yep, get him. Masks on.
Go another way! Move! Go another way! Move!
Move out of the way. Look at what they're doing. Look at this. This is irrational. All right, well, you're about to be a part of the news.
Move!
With this stupid umbrella.
Get out of the way! Get out!
Get out of the way! God. White people, what are we doing? White people, what are we doing? So embarrassing. We can't be strong. Get out of the way. Stop, I'm going to stand in front. Ugh. Are they paid? Are they not paid? I don't know. How embarrassing for white people, man. This is so crazy. Continue on with it. The aftermath. They won't get out of the way.
Chris, get out the way! Get out the way of the truck!
And how lucky are they that they're literally throwing what? I mean, there could be rocks in those snowballs. Any of that stuff that they're throwing. I mean, they're very lucky that there are not live rounds being used right now. or rubber bullets, anything like that. They're getting hit with mace. I would, if I was them, I would count myself lucky. Schaffer says it's just how brainwashed these idiots are, and I agree. Nazis! Where did all these people come from? The houses? Seems like a decent neighborhood. These people are all paid. They're all paid. Just start using live rounds.
What are you doing? You're breaking families, man. You're breaking families, motherfucker. Get out of their way. Get out of it. Hey, let the vehicle leave. You guys are breaking families, man. You can't be doing that.
We're breaking up families, man. You're not here illegally. Sorry. Time to go, baby. Look at all the cameras. My God.
Fuck off.
Mask on, covered up, can't see his face. They're paid. These people are paid. W's in the chat if you think they're all paid. The majority of them are paid.
Get back.
That was the scene where confrontation was building for John, as we can now see on video, was building for a matter of minutes. Not exactly sure how long that went on, but clearly we saw tear gas and pepper spray deployed as those ICE agents who were driving in trucks were starting to be blocked by what appeared to be a quickly growing
Look at all these people.
Protesters who were clearly stepping in front of the vehicles,
They're
trying to stop
protesters.
the vehicles from being
Not
able
even
to
real.
move. And that obviously escalated to what we now know is an ICE-involved shooting, which involved a woman ramming her car to the point where the ICE agents said that they had to protect themselves and others around them, fired off a shot. That woman is now deceased, as Christy Noem just confirmed.
Yeah, and you can see that that vehicle, that truck that was trying to come through, the pickup truck with the cap on the back of it, had one of its windows broken out in the back. Suggestive of some sort of projectile being thrown that had the power to go through that. Maybe a rock, maybe something else. Notice that a lot of the officers that were involved there were from the BORTAC unit. That's the Border Patrol Tactical.
Imagine you throw a rock, just a rock. You have a rock, and you sling it. You do a crow hop. I don't know if you guys know what that is, if you're a baseball terms, but basically a crow hop is what you would do if you caught a ball in the outfield and then you crow hopped it to second base to tag someone out. A crow hop you could throw, none of these people, but if you're an athletic person like myself or most men, I mean, you could probably hit someone crow hopping probably 60, 70 miles an hour with a rock at a police officer, an ICE agent, a sheriff, military, etc. That's attempted murder. You're breaking out the back windshield of trucks, all these sorts of things. Where does it end? And then all the people with masks, all the people with cameras. Does anybody think that this is actually legitimate? Is where we're at. Nolan Ron threw 90-mile-an-hour balls. He actually threw like high 90s, 98, 99, 100. And he didn't crow hop. He was stepping off the mound. I'm talking about a crow hop from the outfield. I bet I could throw a baseball, crow hopping, loose arm. I bet I could throw at least 70 miles an hour with a rock. We got protesters all over my house yelling about ICE. Penny Berg, my God. It's so sick. So sad. What a development this has become. Well, let's listen. Yeah. We'll get into it right now with some news. Again, breaking. Chaos erupt after ICE fatally shoots a Minneapolis rider who attempted to run over an agent. We got it. Chaos erupted on Wednesday after a rider shot, after a rider was shot who attempted to run over an agent in Minneapolis. I think that we can all agree that that gentleman was, who was in the gear was limping. I think we all saw it. We saw the video 3 or 4 times. The Department of Homeland Security called it an act of domestic terrorism. It is what it is. Today, ICE officers in Minneapolis were conducting a targeted operation. Stand aside, let the operation take place. When rioters began blocking ICE officers, and then one of these violent rioters weaponized her vehicle, attempting to run over a law enforcement officer in an attempt to kill them in an act of domestic terrorism. It is what it is. An ICE officer, fearing for his life, the lives of his fellow law enforcement, and safety of the public, fired defensive shots. He used his training and saved his own life and that of his fellow officers. The alleged perpetrator was hit and is deceased. The ICE officers who were hurt are expected to make full recoveries. I didn't see multiple ICE officers, but again, you have tear gas, you have bear spray, you have people throwing snowballs. Who knows how many people were hurt during this? We just have to take that into account. This is direct consequence of constant attacks and demonization of our officers by sanctuary politicians who fuel facts that is so true, who fuel and encourage rampant assaults on our law enforcement who are facing 1,300% increase in assault against them and an 8,000% increase in death threats. This is an evolving situation. We'll be giving more to the public as it becomes available. So again, all right, so what's next? Well, obviously this. And what do our politicians have to say about it? Well, Chuck Schumer has a lot to say about it, and I'm sure this is going to make it throw up in your mouth. Chuck Schumer is going to be talking about it.
Themselves than having people from the outside come in.
What's your message for the protesters down there? Should they remain civil?
Well, of course, there should never be violence, but there should be. Protest is an American right, and when things like this happen.
Wow, that's a change of tune, because I certainly remember when Brett Kavanaugh was getting seated into the Supreme Court that Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and Maxine Waters were calling for absolute chaos. He certainly changed his tune. So again, the propaganda continues.
Themselves than having people from the outside come in.
What's your message for the protesters down there? Should they remain civil?
Well, of course, there should never be violence, but there should be. Protest is an American right, and when things like this happen, people feel the need to protest, and their right to do it. We salute them doing it.
What do you think of Trump's on Congress to codify a ban on the large investors buying the single-family homes? I mean, you talked a little bit about this, but...
Yeah, I put out a statement on this, which we'll get to you. Oh. We had 49 Democrats... 47.
But it's going to be higher.
Days, yeah. We had 47 Democrats vote.
He goes from serious to straight laughing.
Do just what Trump said. Where are our Senate Republicans?
Right. And keep in mind,
Chuck Schumer there saying that he doesn't believe that ICE belongs in any cities, that the cities themselves can handle it. Carrier Bond, speak to that, because cities don't handle immigration, and ICE wouldn't be in the cities if these sanctuary cities cooperated with ICE and let 100%. Them come into detention centers to pick up people that they have detainers on.
Right, and this is where I think police officers get caught in a really difficult spot. And we saw that play out in the press conference with the mayor. The mayor was being reckless in his statements, inflaming tensions and really.
And we'll get to what the mayor was saying, which is there to cause more chaos, more pandemonium. The things he was saying was absolutely insane. So just to let you guys know, this is far from over. There's going to be more to it for sure. We went from Chuck Schumer, Senator, is he the majority leader? I believe he is. And now we're going to go into what Waltz thinks we're doing. Why is this man still being able to speak about things? Shouldn't he be in handcuffs? Or am I just crazy? What kind of question is that? Should they remain civil? What do you think, you idiot? Trump once says. Exactly. I wish I knew. Let's take a listen to this. Let's see what Senator Waltz has to say. Sure, it's
all right, and Laura, this is what President Trump just posted. I have just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis. It's a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator, and the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer who seems to have shot her in self-defense. Based on the clip, hard to believe he is alive, but is now recovering in the hospital. The situation is being studied in its entirety. The reason these incidents are happening is because the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis. They are just doing the job.
Imagine living in this neighborhood. I mean, I don't know. These look like apartment complexes. May not be the best place in Minneapolis, but then you have marching down the streets. We had someone in the chat earlier, Pennyberg 2204. We got protesters all over my house yelling about ICE. I would pray to God that you have a firearm in the house.
Of making America safe, we need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this radical left movement of violence and hate. All right, and Laura, this is...
And I understand that, and we could bring that up again and just read it to you verbatim again. So I have just viewed the clip of the event in which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator. Professional agitator means what? Means what? Somebody called it out in the chat just a moment ago that the license plates were from Missouri. Professional agitator means you're getting paid to do such a thing. Again, the woman was driving her car and it was very disorderly, obstructive, and resisting, who then violently and willfully, that term right there is huge, and viciously ran over the ICE officer who seemed to have shot her in self-defense. Again, we saw him limping. Based on the attached clip, it is hard to believe that he is still alive, but is now recovering in the hospital. So he did suffer an injury. So I think all of us there were correct. We were all correct. He did sustain an injury. He's in the hospital. Again, based on the attached clip, it is hard to believe that he is still alive, but now is recovering in the hospital. The situation is being studied in its entirety, but the reason these incidences are happening is because of the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis. They are trying to do the job of making America safe. We need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this radical left movement of violence and hate. So the thing is, to me, how do you eradicate this? This has been going on since 2016. Agitators, protesters, crazy people. This is all funded. Is it ever going to go away? I don't know. I doubt it, unless we step things up. You know what I mean? It's not going, just to be clear and blunt, this is never going to go away unless it's just like mosquitoes. It's never going to go away. Up until we start using, and I don't want this to happen, YouTube, but until we start using deadly force. Let's go into this.
While Governor Tim Walz and other stakeholders dispute that assessment, the point I wish to emphasize is this. Whatever the actual number is, the full scope of the problem is not just criminal fraud, but a culture of profiting from government programs in perpetuity, not as a safety net, but as an industry. I have personally met and had discussions with folks who identify themselves as consultants for multiple entities accepting government benefits. They have made a career out of showing people how to leverage the gaps in government oversight to maximize benefit payments.
So the key word there, just kind of tying everything to into this, what's taking place in Minnesota. Again, all eyes on Minnesota, all eyes on Minneapolis. Soon eyes will be on California. We will get to that. By the way, if you're enjoying the show, help out with cookies, cans, phone, ships. If you drop an EMP, I'll send you a t-shirt. You can hit me up at TRUreporting1985 at Gmail with your address, and I will send you a t-shirt with an EMP donation. So again, what does it all boil down to? Culture. This is their culture. To cause mayhem, to cause animosity, to cause division, to cause everything in sight. That is the furthest thing from normality. And that's all it is. Stay away from it. I continue to tell you guys, do not go into big crowds or you're going to be a possible victim of this. It's not good. And that gentleman is 100% right. 100% right. Excuse me. Let's see what's going over here on Rumble. Got 150 peeps watching over there. Useful idiots, not enough to riot, just enough to build the narrative. Need the deets on the driver. Facts. I don't think the deets on the driver, time travel, I love you, but I think it's just an erratic, emotional, crazed person. Whether they're a man, woman, it doesn't matter. I think that's what it is. They are blowing whistles and now blocking the streets outside. It is insane. Wow. Yeah, it's a crime scene. And it's time to bring in National Guard. Something. Shut it down. And just speaking of which, from our good friend, I still love her to death. We don't do a show together anymore, but I love her to death. But from Mrs. Carly Bonet, they're going to George Floyd themselves into the Insurrection Act. Bookmark this, and I 100% agree. They're going to George Floyd themselves into the Insurrection Act. Bookmark this. I mean, what else is there to do? You're trying to run over people? That's where we're at? You're breaking out back windshields of... These people aren't just police officers, and I'm not demeaning or minimalizing the work and the journey of a police officer by any means, but these guys are a step up, a couple steps up. They're basically military. They are military. I mean, they're under Tom Homan. So again, I don't think these guys are protected enough at all, which is scary. Not good. Not good at all. Let's go into this. Man.
There's a big difference between 54% and 7%, is there not?
Excuse me, sir. Could I answer the question?
Let me move on. We've got a lot of questions here. What percentage of Somali-headed households in Minnesota are on Medicaid?
I don't know.
It's 73%. Do you know what that number is for Minnesota native households?
Again, you're using the phrase Minnesota native households, but the majority...
The number is 18%. That's quite an astounding difference. I think we would agree.
Can I answer the question, please?
Let me ask you one more, and then we can go on to that. What percentage of Somali-headed households are on welfare in general?
I don't know.
It's 81%. What about, let me just ask you, after 10 years of being in the United States, what percentage of Somali immigrant households are on? One more, and then we can go on to that. What percentage of Somali-headed households are on welfare in general?
I don't know.
It's 81%. What about, let me just ask you, after 10 years of being in the United States, what percentage of Somali immigrant households continue to be on welfare?
I don't know.
The number is 78%. So even after 10 years, 78% of Somali immigrant households continue to be on welfare. Do you know what that number is for native Minnesota-headed households?
Again, you're using
non-Somali immigrant-headed households.
If I can just answer the question, when you're using the phrase native Minnesotans, the majority of Somali Minnesotans are as Minnesotan as any of us. They were born in the United States. It's only 8,000 of the 108,000 Somalis.
And nevertheless, the welfare usage is astoundingly different. Let me ask you again, does that make Minnesota stronger or weaker?
Again, I'd like the opportunity to answer the question here. So, again, the majority of Somali Minnesotans are born in the United States, as I understand it.
Okay, well, what percentage of working-age Somalians who have been in the U.S. for 10 years or more, how many of them speak English very well?
I don't know.
About half. The answer is about half. That seems pretty low, doesn't it?
Again, I keep trying
to... It doesn't sound like something that makes our country stronger to me, and I think most Americans would agree with me on that. I need to move on. Ms. Robbins, when would you say we concretely knew that widespread welfare fraud was occurring in Minnesota?
There have been reports since 2009 from the Office of Legislative Auditor. I would say the credible reports on child care fraud started surfacing 2011 to
2012, which we have talked about on previous episodes. But again, when you talk about these daycares and childcare fronts, which they are, yeah, you're looking at, I think we discussed it yesterday in the chat, $10 billion. We're going to get into California, where it's $90 billion someone threw into the chat yesterday. So $10 billion in fraud, money laundering, up against the front of the taxpayers' money. $10 billion in Minnesota, $90 billion in California. And we'll get to California.
Again, does that make Minnesota stronger or weaker?
Again, I'd like the opportunity to answer the question here. So, again, the majority of Somali Minnesotans are born in the United States, as I understand it.
Okay, well, what percentage of working-age Somalians who have been in the U.S. for 10 years or more, how many of them speak English very well?
I don't know.
About half. The answer is about half. That seems pretty low, doesn't it?
Again, I keep trying
to... It doesn't sound like something that makes our country stronger to me, and I think most Americans would agree with me on that. I need to move on. Ms. Robbins, when would you say we concretely knew that widespread welfare fraud was occurring in Minnesota?
There have been reports since 2009 from the Office of Legislative Auditor. I would say the credible reports on child care fraud started surfacing 2011 to 2013.
So for over a decade?
Yes, sir.
When do you think Governor Walz knew about this fraud?
From the very beginning. He was running for governor in 2018 when there were prosecutions going on, when there was an OLA report, active cases in the news all the time.
And what was the Walz administration's response?
They actually did nothing when they got into office, and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan had been on the committee in the legislature that had hearings on child care fraud, and when they got into office, they did put $5 million into a little more money, but nothing changed.
But nothing. And let me ask you, Mr. Hudson, thank you for being here. Did those who commit this fraud, do they typically vote for Republicans or Democrats, in your opinion?
In my opinion, thank you for qualifying it like that, I would say they most definitely overwhelmingly vote for Democrats.
Do they typically donate to Republicans or Democrats?
Not to my knowledge. They
opinion?
don't donate to Republicans, they donate to Democrats, in my opinion, yes.
Got it. So would you say this is the Somali population is an important demographic for Democrats to win over politically?
Unquestionably.
Got it. And do you think it would have hurt Democrats' political standing with the Somali population to investigate this fraud?
Very clearly.
Got it. So in other words, you're saying that there was a political incentive to cover up widespread Somali fraud. Is that right?
100%. Wow. Isn't that crazy? 17, Eric, 17, good to see you. Who was in office in 2009? Renegade Obama. Yes. So true. So correct. Could you even imagine? At this point, you just have to deal with it. Pray for Minnesotians. Is that the word? Minnesotans? Who knows? But it's not just there. Can you imagine this? From the WLT report. Boom. Exposed Somalia member of parliament found to be running a healthcare company in Minnesota. There he is. Wow. Manager. Can't even spell it right. Manager. Wow. Meet Somali parliament member and former Somali security advisor Abdullahi Kulain. A very enterprising individual. He is somehow a sitting member of Somali's parliament and is also running a healthcare company in Minnesota. The best part? Public records say that his title is manager. Wow. I have those bullets right there. That's crazy. You're not going to believe this. Somalia parliament member of former Somali security advisor Abdullah Kulain owns a healthcare company in Minnesota. He is listed as the manager. He is also the former DEI coordinator, imagine that, and the St. Cloud area school district in Minnesota. In the school district, folks. My God, there he is right there. These people hate America. Money laundering all over the place. Because this sounds so outlandish, I asked Grok to run a fact check on it, and guess what? Fact check to be true. Wow. What? If you're as pissed off as me, cookies in the chat, W's in the chat. Good God. He was elected in February of 2022. Reports note that he was a senior intelligence official at the time of his election. His Facebook page confirms his parliamentary role in foreign positions in the Somali government. Do I have to read anything else? This is absolutely crazy. I mean, just these bullet points should blow everyone's mind. Kulain served as the chief of staff for Somalia's National Intelligence and Security Agency, the NISA. What is that, a spy at this point? I mean, they have their CIA over here. And deputy chief of staff of Villa Somalia. He was removed from his position in early July of 2021 by Somalia's prime minister amid tensions over electoral interference. Following his dismissal, he faced allegations of human rights violations. What does that mean? But later returned to be elected as an MP. He owns a healthcare company in Minnesota. The company is RISME Health Transportation LLC, a non-emergency medical transport. That's a front for sure. Provider based in Waite Park, Minnesota. It is registered with the National Provider Identifier and has been active since 2016. While there are no public fraud allegations against RISME, specifically Minnesota's NEMT sector has been heavily audited with reports of systemic fraud involving hundreds of companies. Hundreds of companies! Imagine that. Not this specific person. Not within that sector. After they had been heavily audited. But when the reports came out, the systemic fraud involved hundreds of companies. How many millions and millions, hundreds and tens of hundreds of millions of dollars was calculated there? My God in heaven. And he's a D&I coordinator at the St. Cloud Area School District. I wonder what they're teaching in that district. His official role, here we go. Educational Equity Outreach Coordinator, focusing on equity policies and diversity efforts. I bet that went for white Americans. He has been a prominent community leader in St. Cloud, organizing task force and advocating for inclusion in school policy making. Get this guy out of here. Get him out. And just like Carly was saying, I understand that, Nathan Davis, trillions of dollars nationally, but just with this company, it's probably tens of hundreds of millions of dollars. Who knows? Nathan Davis says, what if I told you most of our national debt is because of this? Could be. But it's not just there, folks. It's also in Maine. And I'm going to get into something very close after this. By the way, if you're liking the show, please share the stream. Please hit the thumbs up and help out with Gold Pills. Rumble, help out if you want to donate, anything like that. Please do so. I'd really appreciate it. Keep this channel afloat. We love you guys very, very much, and I appreciate you tuning in and enjoying the show. I really do. Your vehicle is a weapon, Alita says. Yeah, 100% when it comes to the craziness. But it's not just in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is also in Maine. I wanted to go visit Maine. I've never been up there. It was a dream of mine, and now I'm kind of questioning if I should even do that. Third Eye's Gravity Eye. Tom, thanks for the work. You're welcome. Glad you're enjoying the show. You can help out. If you want to show some love, hit up. Just scan it with your phone and help out. Even $1 is great. Absolutely, Thomas. This stuff is so outrageous. It's unthinkably and unimaginably wrong. I agree. Let's go.
I thought that we were doing the right thing this whole time. And the more I started digging, the more I started finding. And I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, that this was happening and that I was part of this.
Chris Bernardini spent 7 years working for Gateway Community Services, a Somali American-led health services contractor in Maine. Bernardini alleges Gateway oversaw a system in which false records were filed about client visits. And he says they charged taxpayers for providing services that were never performed.
We started getting some clients calling and saying, months later that their client owed them hours. They hadn't come in for these shifts and stuff. But I had a time card for it.
And they were billing for it.
They were billing for it.
In March of 2022, Gateway received a notice of violation from the state's Maine Care Services Program Integrity Unit based on an audit of records taken at random from January 2017 through December of 2018. Gateway overbilled by an estimated $904,000.
In your professional opinion, what you saw was fraud?
Absolute.
No doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
But Bernardini says when the pandemic hit, it got worse.
I started seeing bonuses, $2,000 bonuses going to these staff that had only been with us for 2 weeks, never worked a shift with a client. And yet the PPP loan comes, you're giving $2,000 away like they're lollipops at a doctor's office.
In April of 2024, Bernardini wrote to the Department of Homeland Security seeking whistleblower protection. They referred him back to the state of Maine. Nearly a year later, Gateway fired Bernardini. The company's founder and CEO is Abdullahi Ali, a Somali American who, while at the time serving as executive director for Gateway, last year ran for president of Jubaland, a state in Somalia's south that borders Kenya. Last week, he posted on X, "I make no apologies for building a successful business in Maine, working hard to earn a living, earning my PhD, giving back to my Maine community, and running for office in Jubaland. I am proud to contribute my hard-earned dollars to support my people back home." We reached...
You were given that money. You swindled that money. Oh, the statement.
Building a successful business in Maine, working hard to earn a living, earning my PhD, giving back to my Maine community, and running for office in Jubaland. I am proud to contribute my hard-earned dollars to support my people back home. We reached out to Ali for comment multiple times. We even came to Gateway to try and speak with him. Hello, I'm with News Nation. My name is... No comment? Is Mr. Ali here? Can we speak with Mr. Ali? Republican State Senator Matt Harrington has called on Governor Janet Mills to investigate.
It's just an absolute insult to the Maine taxpayer. That we know that there's this Medicaid fraud going on by Gateway Community Services. We're seeing nothing from the Mills administration on this, and I think it's appalling.
I still can't believe it. I still can't believe I took so much of my time and put so much of my life into this agency that just tossed me aside. It's caused me to reflect a lot and, you know, try to trust my gut more and speak up more when I see something.
Yeah. I get it. I have a cabin in Maine. I would put you up this summer. Email me. Third Eye is a gravity eye. Please do. At TRUreporting 1985 at Gmail. I would love to go to Maine. I would fly to Maine. But I mean, is anywhere safe at this point? I would love to go to the harbor. I would love to have some crab cakes, lobster bisque. Have an egg Benedict with truffles, lobster truffles. But I'm on a diet. Most of you don't know, but I am. That's crazy. This guy got fired. So it's not just there. It's in Maine as well. It's crazy. Good work, gal. Good to see you on Pilled. Man. All right, it's time to hit home. Pretty close to home. Let's go with this. Autism businesses. Taking care of people with autism, low functioning autism, nonverbal, these sorts of things are being replaced by Somali companies that are fronts. I have a son who is autistic. He's high functioning, but I know a good bit of you out there have learned through what the doctors have given them via shot has changed their dynamic entirely. They're no longer functioning. And, well, guess what? They're being replaced. The help that they may be able to get through occupational therapy, speech therapy, et cetera, is going to be now replaced by helping Somalians. autistic businesses helping them out. Time to shut this shit down, folks. Let's go. I have not seen this. Let's look at it together and get pissed.
Community to start up small clinics and care for their children, because I have a waiting list of 5 years, and I certainly can't take all their children. And I do service quite a few Somali children. And at one point, we went and looked at a few of their clinics. My staff did, not me personally. And we decided we didn't want to affiliate with them. And I got written up in a blog as being racist.
Really?
So anytime you go out and yes, and that was years ago. That was a few years ago. Anytime, it's a fear of every Minnesotan. We are good, honest, hardworking people, and we don't want to be called racist because we're not. I mean, for the most part, Minnesota's a beautiful, wonderful place, and Minnesota Nice is actually pretty accurate in that respect. But it is a fear of Minnesotans that if you go up against the Somalis, you're immediately racist.
And so, therefore, you have to tolerate fraud, which seems to be, at least at a minimum, the motivation for many people involved, from politicians to others, in overlooking what was something that amounted to nothing less than theft.
Minnesota fraud crackdown threatens autism care providers. This is where we're at. They inject, they poison, and I'm supposed to be worried about these people that hate my guts. These companies that say you're racist. Could you even imagine going to, I'm so scared to go to a hospital and then somebody just being like, well, I know who you are. And you don't wake up. They do malpractice on you. They do malpractice on your child. They take you out without a care in the world. Sickening, disgusting. Nathan Davis says the world is about the change. Why aren't they being deported? That's the thing, Linda. And I agree with you. Where the fuck are the arrests? Why aren't these people being thrown out? Send the entire National Guard to this city and be done with it. Do it state by state. Not a percentage being around everywhere. But do the Insurrection Act. Do it. Please. Something has to change. We're not seeing enough at all. It's not enough. And it's disappointing. All right, let's go to California. We're going to go to California now. By the way, if you're enjoying the show, cookies, cans, phones, ships. 2 ships would get us there. If you could donate 2 ships, what are we at? We're at 1,700 gold pills. 2 ships will get us there. Come on. Let's do it. Rusty Koala, Trump is Israel. Nothing is done. You may have something there. You may have something there. We are being infiltrated from the inside out. Disgusting. Palisades.
Smoking gun evidence wasn't found by me. It was uncovered during the course of private lawsuits against public authorities who failed in their duty to protect Pacific Palisades. And they have released drone footage that shows smoke rising from an earlier fire that took place on January 1st, 2025, called the Lockman Fire, which the fire department failed to extinguish fully as it smoldered in the roots of plants. And we believe, and many others believe, that part of the reason that fire was never fully extinguished was that the state of California had a policy on parkland of not allowing heavy fire suppression equipment into areas that were considered sensitive, either because they had rare plants or because they possibly had cultural resources. And if you read the documents, these
rare plants. This is the reason they wouldn't bring in the fire department. Because of rare plants? What the fuck are you talking about?
Considered sensitive either because they had rare plants or because they possibly had cultural resources. And if you read the documents, these policies, which were crafted in late 2024, said that you could not suppress fire in the state park, which is right up against Pacific Palisades, unless you had an archaeologist present to tell you where you could and could not put out the fire.
To tell you about fake dinosaur bones?
So as a result of these policies, you had this massive inferno that spread in high winds and that destroyed the plants and likely many of the cultural sites anyway. This policy helped guide firefighters because it had previously been used even against public departments that tried to suppress fire or to cut fire breaks.
And again, why am I showing you something, they're showing footage from January of 2025, so a year ago. An op-ed examines Newsom's response to the California fires. You're next, buddy.
The governor of California, Gavin Newsom, who you showed there earlier, lying to one of my neighbors, he says that the state of California is not responsible, that this was a local decision by firefighters. He says he sent 110 fire engines to Southern California in advance of the extreme winds, but he did not send fire engines to that spot where there had been a fire on January 1st, 6 days before the wind event, where there was smoldering fire, where some residents had reported smoke, and where the state knew there was a huge risk of reignition.
A huge risk of reignition. We're not going to send firefighters there. We're not going to do that because of, delicate plants. So, where do we go from here? Well, we'll see. Take a look at this.
We got some breaking news. Look what's dropping today. I have the advanced copy of the House Judiciary Committee's report on fire aid. And the report proves what we've known all along. Fire aid raised $100 million under false pretense that it was directly helping fire victims, and then misused those charitable donations to fund political activists, podcasters, and bloated nonprofit salaries and bonuses. People across the country gave their hard-earned dollars to help fire victims, and fire aid used that money to fund causes and projects completely unrelated to fire recovery, including insane stuff like fungus planting. $100,000 went to voter participation. $500,000 went to political advocacy groups. $100,000 went to a podcaster that's not even a fire victim because she talked about the fire. And over $500,000 went to bonuses, salaries, and money for consultants for nonprofit organizations. And listen, Jim Jordan's not done. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And more letters went out today demanding that the recipients of fire aid money prove how they spent their funds. $75 million has been lost, but the scam is over. So fire aid, what are you going to do with the $25 million that's still left? You better start helping actual fire victims instead of lining the pockets of these completely unrelated nonprofits, because we're on to you and we are watching.
I think you could yap all day long about Jim Jordan and James Comer, and nothing will get done. Call me a pessimist. I don't care. Jim Jordan. James Comer. Okay. Can I see arrests? Is that a possibility? Is there something that we can do with that? Instead of hearings, we're going to bring these people in for a hearing. Okay, I don't care. Their lawyers are going to speak. They're not going to say very much of anything. And we're just going to go round and round and round. That's all there is to it. So funny. President Trump says this. And I'll post it right here. Guys, if you're enjoying the show, show that love on Pilled, on Rumble, and you can hit up the Cash App right over there. Just scan it with your phone. QR code. Money sign stream donations. It'll just come up. Just scan it with your phone. You can do it right now. It's sitting right there. It's right there. Just scan that. Boom. California, under Governor Gavin Newsom, is more corrupt than Minnesota. Is that even possible? The fraud investigation of California has begun. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Well, Tim Walz should be arrested. Gavin Newsom should be arrested. All of these people that are scamming and using the stock market should be arrested. You know who those names are. 0 arrests. Nothing has happened. We're focusing on Venezuela and liberating them. Can somebody please explain to me what in the fuck is going on? Yeah, Susan, make the arrest for fuck's sake. I agree. Do it now. Do it now is all I ask. For the love of God. Guys, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, hanging out. How many? I mean, we're still at 1,700 gold pills. It would have been nice to hit 5,000, but we love you guys, and it's okay. No big deal. Glad you tuned in. Maybe Freddie or Mr. Brett Collins will be back with us tomorrow. I know he's got a show tonight at 7:30, so hit up Brett Collins on the We Are Rise show on Twitter. X, rather. Pilled. YouTube. And Rumble. So hit that up. Good to hang out with you guys here tonight. You're very welcome, everybody that thanks me. I really do appreciate your thankful words are great. Hit up the Cash App. Do it. It's right there. Scan that. Head it up. Scan it right now. Send some love. Show some love. Let me go ahead and release the gold pills for you guys. There we go. California, hold my beer. Dave MC says yes. Good to see you. Good to see you, Dave MC. Good to see you. I hope all of you have a fantastic night. I am not muted. Kanish, what an old name. I love you. I'm not muted. It's your computer. Go back and watch the stream. Everybody can go back and watch whatever they want to. We love you guys very much, and just know that in the end, God wins. Take care of yourselves. Share the stream. Hit the notification bell. Hit the thumbs up and help out. We love you. Peace.